What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we hop in this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into this video. Alright, y'all, so today's video is going to be a story time, because I feel like I haven't told you, honestly, I feel like I haven't told you guys a story time in a long time. And I was just seeing an old TikTok story time that I did. So if you guys haven't followed me on TikTok, I'm gonna link that down below. You guys go follow me over there. I post actively over there. But point being, you guys, I haven't posted a story time in a while, so I wanted to tell you guys this story time about the time that my cousin called the police on me. So I don't even know. So I'm just gonna get right into this video. So me and my cousin, she's like 3 years older than me, and before you guys even comment, I don't want to hear it. If you are a guy out there, you guys, and growing up with your cousins, you guys have fought, guy or girl, you guys have fought each other. Okay, I don't even want to hear it. But me and my cousin, we used to definitely have a brother-sister type of relationship. We fought all the time physically, would fight each other, whatever, scream, argue, the whole nine, all the time. You know, it was just like a kind of a not normal, obviously, because it's not normal, but siblings fight, right? We all know close siblings, especially when you're living together, you see each other every day, arguments are going to happen, fights are going to happen. Sometimes you might even get a little physical, okay? It just happens, you know. You ask anybody, your friends, they're going to tell you fights happen sometimes, okay? Sometimes shit goes down between siblings, cousins, whatever. So it was not, I'm not gonna, like I said, like again, I'm not going to say it was like a normal thing, but we often would get into it, whether even sometimes even we just argued, like we would just did not get along. So I do remember in this particular day, like again, I don't even know, because this was like so long ago, I don't even remember. I remember everything that happened about it. I don't remember what led to the argument that day or whatever. We just would get into it. So it was kind of very often, so it was like, fuck, I don't even remember this particular day what the argument was even about. But I knew we had got into it, we had physically fought each other, and after we had fought each other, it was kind of like we would usually like she would go away, I would go away, whatever, and then we would just kind of ignore each other and go about our day, and then we'd be fine the next minute, you know what I mean? It was kind of like that. But I do remember, well, honestly I don't remember, because at the time that we had fought, it was after we were done fighting, I kind of went away into my own thing, went downstairs, because that's where my room was, because at the time I was in with my grandparents. So you know, after we had fought, I had went downstairs. So you know, when I am mad or pissed off, like I go into a complete rage. Like I don't even, like you guys already know, like your adrenaline is rushing as it is. So much is going on, so much is happening in that moment when you're just like, it's like almost like fucking chaos, you know? No, it is chaos. So I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna go downstairs, cool down, because like there's no need to just keep fighting, keep going at it. I'm done. I'm gonna go away, whatever. Debrief, cool down. And I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm not thinking, oh, today I'm gonna get the police called on me. Like I had no idea like that was gonna be like a whole thing. Like I had no idea that was gonna come down, you know, come down to it. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, G's and gents, it did happen. So I remember maybe like 20-25 minutes went by, and then we hear at the door is, y'all already know, police. So also too, I want to preface and put this in there that my also at evil ass aunt, that I could do a whole story time on her alone. She also lived with us at the time, which, like I said again, I could do a whole story time on her alone. She also lived with us at the time. So she answers the door, you know, he's like, obviously, then once I realized like, oh shit, my cousin called the police. So I'm shocked at the moment, but I don't say anything. I'm just like frozen. I'm just trying to hear what he's gonna say. You know what I mean? So he's like, you know, I heard a disturbance, like what was going on. Like I heard someone made a call with you guys fighting. And at that moment, I'm still not saying anything. What I do know is, in that moment, I'm just sitting there. I'm just like froze. I'm just like, what the fuck? Because honestly, you guys, I never thought like, yes, we've had our bad moments. Yes, we've had our fights. Yes, we have had like moments of like where shit went down. But you never would think that like that would happen to you. You never think like a sibling would call the police on you, or a cousin, or whatever the case may be. That's honestly what I'm thinking in that moment. But I still am not saying anything. It's kind of just like you just like freeze in that moment. You know what I mean? You guys ever know if you've just like been in a crazy ass situation, you just like almost freeze, and you're just like almost it's almost like an out of body experience. You know, that's kind of like what the fuck I was thinking or feeling in that moment. So, and so anyways, like he shows up and then he pulls my aunt outside. So you guys, I'm not even gonna get into the full story of our dynamic and our relationship. I could save that for a whole new video if you guys want that. Comment down below, like this video, and I would do a whole story time on that because I literally it'd be a whole chapter book. But she has never really, me and her don't have the best relationship. Like, we don't talk now, we don't have a relationship at all. I don't have anything to do with her. So she goes out there, and I'm not thinking, and it took me honestly like a few years after that situation to really think like, damn, she went out there and really tried to throw me under the bus to this police officer, you know what I mean? And I'll get into that, why I found that out, why I feel that in the moment. But so he pulls her out there, you know, they have a conversation, she comes back in. And then she didn't say anything to me. She just is quiet. She just sits down. You know what I mean? She doesn't say anything, doesn't like mention the conversation of what they talked about, nothing. So that already was weird to me. Looking back at the situation, like I didn't think about it in that moment, but looking back at it, I'm like, that's weird. You didn't even mention anything that you went outside with the whole police officer about the whole situation with me and my cousin, and you didn't come in and say anything. Thought that was weird. So then you already know it's time for me to go out there and talk to this police officer because who else is going to? So I go out there and mind you guys, at this time, my cousin that called the police, she's nowhere to be found. Like, you call the police, but you're nowhere to be found. Whatever. Thought that was also weird. He didn't even ask to speak to her, which, whatever. So, he ends up, so now I'm out there talking to him, and he's like, you know, what's going on? I'm hearing that this is a constant thing, that, you know, you just get very angry sometimes, like, what's going on with you? Trying to almost, you know, paint me as out to be like this big evil bad guy, this like crazed teen that just wakes up and is just angry. No, that's not the case. Which another reason as to why I believe my aunt went out there and tried to throw me under the bus. You guys are following? So basically he's just questioning me like, oh, well, does this always happen often? Like, what are the fights about? And I'm just like, I'm honestly shocked as fuck still, because I'm just like, what the fuck is really going on? Like, is the police officer really here, like, at my house? Like, truly, what is going on? Like, because, like I said, you guys, me and my cousin fighting all the time was, like, a normal thing. Like, that just happens in family members and, like, with cousins and, like, brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? So it's just, I'm still in shock. I'm kind of just like, what the fuck is going on? I'm just explaining, just telling him, like, we are, like, siblings. Like, that is something, like, I've always grew up with. Like, this happens often, you know, not to make it seem like it's right, but this just happens. This is just what happens between siblings, cousins, close cousins, especially when you're living together. So, you know, I just explained that to him. He's like, you know, this cannot keep happening. You know, this is something that needs to just stop for good. Like, you guys don't need to be fighting, obviously, and you guys don't need to be making it shouldn't get to that point to where I have to come, basically. And I'm just like, okay, you know, sure, whatever. That's not gonna. I didn't say that in the moment, but I'm just like, sure, okay, we'll stop fighting. So I end up going to my mom's to stay at my mom's that night, at her place, just kind of like cool off and kind of just like separate from each other, and kind of just like, sorry, I thought I heard something, and to debrief, you know, not be in the same house as each other for the night. So whatever, I'll go and stay the night at my mom's house for the night, just to kind of like clear things off, cool things off, whatever. And, you know, coming back, of course, and I'm gonna be honest, you guys, we obviously still fought because that's just what cousins and siblings do. I don't really know what else to really say about that. If you have siblings, again, if you have close cousins, brothers, sisters, then you guys have probably physically fought each other. It just is what it is, you know? Not to like justify it, not to make it seem like I'm glorifying it or anything like that. I'm being transparent with you guys in this video. I'm just like telling you guys just flat out how it kind of is, you know what I mean? So that happened, you know, and as time went on, we still obviously fought each other. We still obviously got into it. We still obviously argued. That kind of just was going to be inevitable, especially like growing up and just being young and teenagers. Like, it just kind of just was going to be what it was. Like, we're always going to kind of get into it. But honestly, now looking at the situation now, I still kind of like, there is kind of a resentment almost. I don't even know if I would call it a resentment. There is kind of a sort of like I'll always kind of have like a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to that situation, because I personally, and you guys can we can debate about this all you want in the comments. I personally just feel like, you know, everything should stay between family members. You know, I don't feel like police should get involved. I get, not in all circumstances, of course, super serious, like, cases, and you know what I mean. Like, of course, if you have to call the police, but I don't feel like, you know, for a sibling fight, a cousin fight, I don't feel like the police needed to be called, you know. So kind of just, and that's just my opinion. Me and my cousin don't talk about that situation, you know. Sometimes I honestly think about bringing it up because I'm just like, girl, do you remember you did that? Like, do you remember that happened? But it's kind of just like, I don't feel the need to bring up that situation because it's been so long ago, you know what I mean. I have healed from that situation. I'm able to talk about it. I'm able to tell like all the story time about it. I'm able to talk about it, but it kind of just always, like I said again, will leave kind of a bad taste in my mouth, and especially with my aunt getting involved in it and putting her 2 cents in and trying to make it seem like almost as if I was this, you know, crazy maniac just out fighting all of them and just was so chaotic and just so crazy, and that I just was the only one starting things. No, that was fucking definitely not the case. Was I innocent? No. Did I fight? Yes. Did I say things, throw things? Absolutely. 100% I can tell you guys that, and I can say that to whoever, you know what I mean. I'm not the, I'm not the victim, you know. That's not the case. But to stoop that low and to, for one, call the police, and then my aunt to try to go out there and paint me out to be this like crazed maniac was so weird to me, which again, she is a whole nother story within herself that I could go on for, make a whole chapter book about, you know what I mean. But no, I just feel like, you know, that situation, that time was a crazy time. That's something I'll never forget, you know what I mean. And again, like, even when I see my cousin now, like, I don't hold any like grudges to her. I don't hold any like, it's not something like I always think about when I see her, or it's not one of those things that kind of just is. To me, it's a crazy story time. To me, it's something like I would never do it. You know what I mean? It's just not something. I just feel like even when I had kids, when I have kids growing up, I would be. You already know I can't speak. If one day I was to be able to have kids, you know, I would never. They would never call the police on each other. I would never let that shit ride. I would. That's something. No, we ain't doing that. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like, you know, it's not that deep, and I don't feel like, you know, I feel like family issues should stay between families. You know. Shit like that, like a fight between siblings or something like that, is something small like that. You know, I don't feel like police should get involved or needed to get involved. But again, you can't change people, or you can't make people see what they did was wrong, or not even that. You can't change people. You can't make someone, just because you wouldn't do it, that doesn't mean they wouldn't. If that makes sense, that's what I was trying to say. Y'all know I'll be getting tongue twisted, but yeah, that's something like that's just something I kind of will never forget, is that crazy situation. And of course, like I said again, we still got into it. It still was like, we still fought, you know what I mean. It wasn't not, and I'm not saying that to be like, oh, I'm a big bad, but it just, siblings fight, siblings argue. It just is, cousins argue, cousins fight, you know what I mean. And again, if you say you didn't, you're lying. Don't lie. Y'all know I'm being a little weird. But no, seriously, that's kind of just how I feel about the situation. I don't feel like, you know, it needed to kind of go that deep. I don't think it needed to go that far. But again, that is just my opinion. That's how I feel about the situation. And yeah, that's pretty much how it ended. Like, he had a conversation with me. He kind of, I mean, of course, it obviously never happened again. But it kind of just, even now, like, just talking about it, kind of just, it will always, again, leave a bad taste in my mouth. Because again, I would never do that. I would never go that route to call the police on somebody, especially not a family member. I don't care. There's so many family members that I don't fuck with and I don't like, would never call the police. You know what I mean? Like, I don't fuck with you, but I would never go that deep. You know, it's kind of, and again, that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel. Again, everybody is different. Everybody is entitled to do whatever the fuck they want to do, whether I agree with it or not. And I don't, it's not like I hold any bad blood to my cousin at all. Like, it kind of just was a fucked up situation. It kind of was what it was, but it's not like I wake up every day and I have hatred towards her, or you know what I mean? Or like always feel some type of way about her when I see her. No, that's not the case. But it did happen, you know. I did get the police called on me by a family member, by my cousin, and that was a real thing that fucking happened to me, you know. And I just thought, why not share it with you guys? Why fucking not? But yeah, that kind of just was the end of the story. That kind of just how it ended. He pretty much had a conversation with me, and then I never seen another cop a day in my life at that house, you know what I mean, for that reason. not that they came. Okay, I'm talking way too fucking much. I'm rambling, but y'all already know that kind of just how it was, you know, and it kind of is what it is. Again, like I said before I end this video, I don't want to say again, like there's no bad blood. There's no, like, I don't wake up every day and think about that situation or think about, you know, why should we do that or whatever. People do whatever they want for whatever reason. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Comment down below if you ever been in a crazy situation like that with a family member. Has a family member ever called the police on you? Comment down below what do you guys think. Also, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Give that video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Whatever you feel. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Also, let me know if you guys want any more story times. Okay, bye!